In this video, we'll go ahead and show you and explain to you what the error code STY means on the Altistart 48 soft start. So first of all, the STY is an excessive starting time fault, and there's a number of reasons why that will cause this particular fault for you. But keep in mind that there's two types of parameters that we need to be aware of. One is your ramp up time, acceleration time, and the other is the max start time. So to get started, let's just go ahead and go to the parameters to show you those two parameters. So you want to escape or arrow down until you find the set menu, enter, and then scroll down. And again, as I mentioned, the first parameter is ACC, your ramp up time, and the second parameter is STY, which is your type of stop, if you need to look into that. And the last one is labeled as TLS. Now that one is under a different menu, and to get there you want to go ahead and enter on PRO, go down to TLS, and that's your max starting time. So what that means basically is anytime that it takes longer to ramp up the full speed, use STF fault code, or STY, excuse me. So what that means is if your max start time, which is the TLS parameter, if it's at the 12 or let's say 15, and if your ACC parameter, your ramp up time, is about 12 or 15 as well, if your motor takes longer to ramp up than the TLS value, it will give this STY fault automatically, thinking there's something wrong because it's taking too long to ramp up. So you want to make sure that your TLS is programmed to a value higher than your ramp up time. Normally, unless for a reason you want to make it the same, you can set the TLS value to be, let's say, at least 5 seconds above your actual ramp up time, like 0 in seconds. And as mentioned before, the ramp up time that we had seen before is programmed to 15. So right now in this particular software I'm looking at here, your ramp up time is 15 seconds and your max start time is 20 seconds. Now, even though you adjust the max start time high, very high compared to your ramp up time, and if you still get a fault, STY, there are other things to look at as well. Sometimes there's other issues like mechanical issues where your motor is pulling very high current and your soft start is limiting the current draw on purpose. If you want to check your current limit parameter, you will have to be under the set menu, and you want to find the parameter ILT here. And ILT is a value in percentage. Default is 400%, so that means that your motor FLA times your 400% is the maximum current allowed by the soft start that the motor can pull. So let's say your motor is rated for 100 amps, just to make it easy, and you're pulling about 400 amps already, and it's still taking more than, let's say, 15 seconds to ramp up. If your motor is still having a hard time ramping up way above that, all the way through your max start time, it will fault out. So there might be other problems where there might be a problem with your line power, where you can measure L1, 2, and 3 and making sure those are not dropping too low, because the lower the voltage potential, the higher the current draw. You might have a motor issue. You might have imbalanced current draw by the load. You might want to check the current at each phase coming out of the motor while it's ramping up. Or you may have a motor problem. Maybe the windings are the issue. It might be a very long distance run. The load may be overloaded. The motor may be undersized. There's a number of things that may be going on. But basically, just to justify what this fault is, it basically means that your soft start is detecting that your motor is taking longer than what is allowed by the programming to ramp up the full speed. And this is what the STY fault means on the Altistart 48 soft start.